If you're creating a pivot table in Excel, it's best if you have all your data on one worksheet and create the pivot table from that. But if your data is on separate sheets and you can't change it, you can use multiple consolidation ranges to create a pivot table. So here we have a workbook with two sheets. There's a sheet with data from the East region and some from the West. The sheets are set up the same. They have the same column headings. They just have different data, and there's a different number of rows of data on each sheet. But as long as the columns are set up the same, we'll be able to create our pivot table. There's no command on the ribbon in Excel 2007, but on your keyboard, you can press Alt-D and then type a P, and that opens the pivot table and pivot chart wizard. In step 1, you're going to click multiple consolidation ranges and then click Next. In step 2, you have a choice of a single page field or creating your own, and I usually select that and click Next. Now here we're going to select our ranges of data. So on the worksheet, I'm going to select all the data on the East sheet and click Add. Then I'll go to the West sheet and select all the data and click Add again. And at the lower section here, I'm going to create one page field, and each range that I've added can have a label in the drop down for that page field. So if I click on East, when I use that drop down, I'd like to see East to represent that data, and here I'll type West and then click Next, and I'd like my pivot table on a new worksheet, so I'll leave that and click Finish. So here's our pivot table, and here's the page field that we created, and it shows East and West, and I'll click OK. It by default is showing us the count of these values, and I'd rather it show a sum, so I'm going to just right click on one of the value cells and go down to Summarize Data By and select Sum. Now some of these columns we don't really need. If we look at our pivot table, color I don't need, or date, the price, the sales rep, I would just like to keep the total and the units. So I'm going to click the arrow for column labels and get rid of the check marks for color, date, price, and rep, and click OK. So it's looking better now. This grand total though is adding up these other two columns, so I don't want that. I'm going to right click and go to Pivot Table Options, and here on Totals and Filters I'll remove the check mark for grand total for rows and click OK. So now we can just see the total dollars and the number of units that were sold. And the last change I'll make here, instead of calling this page 1, I'll just type region for that. So now I can select a region. I can select East and just see its data, or West, or all. So it just makes it a little more clear what that page represents. And if I wanted to, I could move region down below the row field, so it would show the total for pens and then each region below it.